The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, make sure you guys subscribe if you're new to the channel, and definitely take the time to hit that like button, and all that would be greatly appreciated. Now, listen, man, save the date. November the 13th is gonna be one of the most exciting matchups that boxing's produced this calendar year. And you got Jaime Munguia taking on, Gabe Rosado. And man, what a matchup! What a matchup! Now let's talk about both fighters, and let's talk about the matchup. First and foremost, I want to say this about Munguia. Jaime Munguia is a fighter that, when we talk about the best offensive fighters in boxing, he's got to be pretty high up there. He's very explosive fighter. This is the same Jaime Munguia that when he fought Toriano Johnson, he knocked half his lip off. Offense has never been a problem for Jaime Munguia. It's always been about defense. It's always been about how he transitions from defense to offense. Those have been his glaring weaknesses, and I really feel like this fight for him is a sink or swim fight. It's a judgment day fight in a way, because there's another guy on the other side of the ring, Gabe Rosado, who I think has every chance to beat him. Rosado is a fighter that's fought everybody. He's been a true warrior of the sport. He's lost plenty of times, so he's not afraid to lose because he's lost already. And he's benefiting from what I like to call Freddie Pendleton syndrome. For those of you who know Freddie Pendleton was a boxer in the 90s that took a lot of tough fights early in his career, and he fought like Roger Mayweather and Jorge Paez and Tyrone Trice and all these guys, Pernell Whitaker. This guy fought a lot of people, Pendleton, and he found himself on the wrong end of a lot of these fights. But because he was fighting so many tough opponents, he did his best boxing later on in his career and actually became world champion. I mean, he had well over 20 losses in his career and still became world champion. So when we look at Gabe Rosado, this is a guy with over 10 losses. And this is a guy in Rosado that I really believe, and I truthfully believe, he's doing his best boxing later in his career. His last fight, he turned in a masterpiece performance as he knocked out Bektir Melikuziev, who was supposed to be the next big thing at 168, and derailed the hype train before the train even got started. So that was a great win. The fight before that, he fought Daniel Jacobs, and I thought outboxed him, but they called it a draw. I thought he did enough to win, but the fact that he was even outboxing with Jacobs the way he was, it shows you the growth that he's had in his career. So Munguia is really going to have a lot to worry about on the other side of the ring. Now, one factor that we do have to consider is the fact that Rosado has been taking these. He campaigns currently at 168. He'll be sucking his way down to 160 for this fight. I believe Munguia is still at middleweight, so I believe we'll be at 160. I could be wrong. Maybe it's at a catch weight. Y'all can feel free to correct me. But Munguia is middleweight. He's the A side in this fight, so I feel like, it'll probably be at 160. But either way, it's a tough fight for Munguia, and it's one where I really think Munguia is going to have to show some growth, some development as a fighter. He can't just do the normal come forward, hard-hitting Mexican style. He's going to have to show that he can think a little bit in there, because we've seen in the past Munguia against fighters like Dennis Hogan and Takashi Inoue and guys like that. He can be outboxed, he can be outslugged, he can be outfought if the stars align and he's not at his best. He can be outfought. He's still very raw. I feel like Golden Boy Promotions is trying their best and their damnedest to manufacture something that I just don't think is there. I think Munguia is a good fighter. I think he's a solid fighter. I definitely think he's a world level fighter. But for him to be this superstar fighter that they want him to be, I don't see it. They're trying to make him into the next Canelo. And look, y'all know I don't like Canelo, but I call a spade a spade. Munguia is about, I don't know what age Munguia is. I think he's like 23, 24, somewhere around there. At that age, Canelo was already headlining pay-per-views. He was fighting Floyd Mayweather. He was selling out arenas. And so like if they're trying to manufacture this Canelo hype train with Munguia, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And I like this fight. Style-wise, I like this fight because Rosado, while he has shown maturity, while he has shown himself to be a more experienced fighter, who can box and move and is disciplined enough to box for 10 rounds or 12 rounds, he's still Gabe Rosado and he's still a warrior, and he is still in Philadelphia. And sometimes these Philadelphia fighters can be too Philadelphia for their own good. And I feel like, you know what? Maybe this is a fight where this fight brings out the full Philadelphia in him, and he winds up throwing a lot of punches. He winds up trading with Munguia, and that could be to his detriment. So there's definitely a lot of factors to consider when you look at this fight. But I really think this fight has a fight of the year candidate. You know, I know we just had Wilder Fury, so it's gonna be hard to top that. I think Wilder Fury 3 has cemented fight of the year, but I think this could be one of the best fights of the year. So those are just my little initial thoughts on it. Pops, you got any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think Gabe motivated from his last victory. Recently come out and said that he's very motivated for this fight, and he's looking for the knockout. And I won't put that past him, because the victory that he got in the last one really energized him, gave him more life to him, even though he's already a warrior. Now on the other side of the coin, Munguia, to me, every fight I see him fading away as being a so-called next star in Golden Boy or whatever promotion he's in. If he doesn't get that fight like he's supposed to and get his defense up, he's in for a long day with this warrior. That's what he is, a warrior. I'm talking about Rosado.
Yeah. Got a prediction?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Rosado with a knockout.
Pop's going with the upset. He going with Rosado by a knockout. He going full of Munguia like that?
Yeah, Munguia's been soft and nice for the last couple of fights I've seen.
Oh man,
he's not showing me anything like I expected him. Expectations are overblown.
I wouldn't say he's soft. I just think he's raw and doesn't have the skills that they want him to have.
He's gotta make his changes then. I mean, by now he should have been more developed.
He's got like almost 40 fights.
Okay, so back to what I'm saying. He's gotta learn. He's been 40 fights. He's not his first fights, so he's gotta either adjust or he's not gonna adjust. If he doesn't have no defense, he's gonna get knocked the fuck out by a lot of people. I'm not saying he's not a tough customer, because he is. Gotta give it to him. He's Mexican, but what I'm saying is don't toot the horn until on the train until it's running right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think he's got a lot more to learn.
Well, I'm gonna break out an old phrase that I haven't used in a while. Once you bake a cake, it's a damn cake.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
Once you bake a cake, it's a damn cake, which basically means that for the most part with fighters, I'm not gonna say every fighter, but for the most part of fighters, when they're set in their ways, they're set in their ways. There's no way you can really change them all the way. So I think Munguia is who he is. He's an offensive fighter, a come forward Mexican fighter who has leaky defense, and I don't think any amount of wishing on a star is gonna change that. But I digress. It'll be a great fight between him and Gabe Rosado, November 13th. I'm very excited for it. You know, hopefully if Golden Boy has her stuff in order, you know, hopefully they put Sinisa Estrada on the card, I can go to that fight. That fingers crossed on that one. But anyway, you guys, let me know what you think about this fight. Who you picking and why? Who you favoring? Give me your breakdown of the style match, all that stuff. I'll definitely read them. I do read all the comments, even if I don't respond to them. So definitely I'll leave those and I'll definitely read them. Yeah, like I say in every single video, make sure you guys take the time to subscribe, hit that like button, and you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just giving days. So until next time, take care, guys.